1,000 subscribers. If you could like and subscribe or comment, it's totally free, I promise, then it would mean so much to me, okay? I'm so close to 1,000, I can taste it. Please subscribe if you like the video. With the biggie intro out of the way, let's get right down to it. The disclaimer, as always, is that most of this is alleged with my opinions mixed in. I will leave sources, evidence, and videos linked down below. I do recommend checking those out if you think that any of my opinions put in here should be relooked or you want to check out the evidence for it. Check the links down below. I get all my sources from down below, so you should be able to look them over and make sure to fact check me. If I get something wrong, don't be afraid to comment. I will correct it. And one more thing before we start. Thank you, Digital Pixel, who actually recommended I look into this. And now I've spent an entire week looking into the ins and outs and controversies of Gabbie Hanna. Alrighty, what a wild start. So let's get into it. Gabbie Hanna is a former Vine star that got popular on YouTube by doing skits, music, and story times. She had a magnetic personality mixed in with the general quirkiness, but back on Vine, nobody really knew who she was. So when she came onto the YouTube scene, it was actually a pretty big deal. She was cute, and her bursts of manic energy were fun for a time. So when 2014 came around, she moved fully from Vine to YouTube. But then she got into some hot water when someone on Reddit pointed out that she was stealing jokes. A minor crime in the real world, but for a lot of people, they got upset when they found out that one of their favorite YouTubers couldn't be funny on their own. But she made an apology called Let's Talk About Stealing Jokes, which seemed to calm people down. It also confirmed that she was stealing jokes, but that's because she admitted it. She said she would move forward from it, and honestly, it wasn't really that bad. She knew she was in the wrong. She said she was going to change. She even credited the people that the jokes were about. So all in all, that's a good apology. 7 out of 10 for you, okay? Gabbie, 7 out of 10. You did the minimum. Congrats. Things started heating up again when she got into trouble with a different YouTuber at a birthday party. Rice Gum, according to Gabbie, physically assaulted her at a party after she pressed him for a rap battle, and Rice Gum attacked her viciously with no forethought, scratched and bruised her, made a scene, then Gabbie left to tell Snapchat followers about it. Rice Gum tells a different story though. According to him, he was just getting back from a long day. He was invited to a party, and even though he was tired, he wanted to make a polite appearance there. And when he was settling on the couch, Gabbie approached him, demanded a rap battle, and once he made it clear to Gabbie that he wasn't joking, he wanted the camera out of his face, Gabbie continued, so he yanked the phone away from her and smashed it on the ground. Honestly, I wasn't there. I don't know what actually happened, but seeing as Rice Gum did Venmo Gabbie $2,000 to replace the phone afterwards, I'm gonna assume that the smashing of the phone did happen, as much as I don't think that violence is a good response to somebody, but I understand the need to act out when somebody ignores you and your bubble, and being drowsy, drunk, even irritated beforehand can really affect how you react to things. So I'm gonna give a double L here for the controversy, 4 out of 10, because Gabbie should know, as somebody who allegedly has ADHD, that personal space is important and not to mess with non-interactive people at a party. Like, there's a whole party going on. Pick someone else. But anyway, after there was a whole lot of drama surrounding Gabbie, she did some drama alert stuff and tried to call out Rice Gum, and then he ended up clapping back at her with like a diss track. It was bad, but mostly it seemed to end there. And next, that brings us to the scam that Gabbie performed. Also a 1 out of 10 reaction from Gabbie, just gonna put that out there for ya. Kenza Cosmetics sent Gabbie a sponsorship, and then instead of checking it out fully, doing a background check on the company and anything that they've done, she decided to fully endorse them. She accepted the contract, advertised the brushes, then got angry when people were upset with her for advertising a faulty product. See, Kenza Cosmetics is a scam website, much like Wish or AliExpress. They say that they have an item for you of the same quality or type as the brand, but for way cheaper. In reality, they sell knockoffs, which is usually fine, but they are lower quality, made from different materials, and it takes upwards of 3 months for them to get to you. So when this came to light, Gabbie said that she didn't know anything about it, and that it was wrong for people to blame her for Kenza Cosmetics allegedly scamming people, although they technically did. Kenza Cosmetics advertised these brushes as being high quality, worth hundreds of dollars, and they were only going to charge you shipping. But that's not what it was. They were cheap brushes that Kenza Cosmetics sold for $10, when in reality they weren't even worth that much. Now, I don't know a lot about brushes, so really I'm not one to judge on this, but I do know a lot about art. And having to do your art with cheap materials that don't really work has to be frustrating. And makeup is a form of art. And Gabbie Hanna, somebody who I think does art sometimes, should know that cheap materials make for cheap looking art, and it was wrong of her to falsely advertise this kind of thing. So again, 1 out of 10, Gabbie, not cool. Next, the smash or pass controversy. A YouTuber named Dom the Bomb passed on Gabbie in a game of smash or pass. That's it. That's how he wronged her. He said, "I do not like Gabbie because she is not my type," and Gabbie threw a fit. And I've been rejected before. I know it hurts, okay? But I've never gone to the lengths of this. Instead of being a normal person and dealing with her feelings, Gabbie decided to confront Dom at a party and told him that he needed to explain himself. And he said he didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. She was just not his type, sticking to his guns, which I think is totally fine. She continued. She kept asking him. In the clip, this man looks like he desperately wants to go home, but instead he's being held hostage by Gabbie Hanna and her camera, asking him why he wouldn't want to smash. Then once it's clear he's not getting anywhere with this, and she's not getting anywhere with this, she insults his appearance by calling him short, and tells him he's not good enough for her either. Gabbie, people have insecurities. I know that. I know you have insecurities. Your feelings were hurt. I'm sure of that. But this is wrong. This is upsetting. It's kind of disproportionate as well. Don't approach people at a party and ask them what they did a couple months ago and then confront them about their smash or pass choices. It's strange and weird. Don't do it. 3 out of 10 would not smash Gabbie. Now to a less fun topic, the Trisha Paytas situation. Because this is important for her character history, but I do not want to get too into this rumor because it is a rumor and I feel like spreading falsehoods is just a weird thing. Trisha Paytas came out with a video calling Gabbie Hanna out, spreading a rumor about Trisha Paytas' sexual health, which is none of Gabbie's business. It should not be discussed with Gabbie at all, and honestly, I'm a little upset that I know about this now. Trisha Paytas took offense because it's a normal thing that people with feelings would have done, and since it was a lie, she made a video calling it out. Gabbie Hanna, of course, made a story poll asking her friends of this. She explained the whole situation as if she was just looking out for her friend that's with somebody and they have a contagious disease and it would be terrible for them to not know, and I would want to know, so would you guys? And that was terrible because Gabbie has no business spreading rumors like this, and also she has no business spreading rumors like this to her fans. Because now they'll know, or they'll assume that they know anything about Trisha Paytas' sexual health, which is only something that Trisha Paytas and her partners should know about. And also, I think that Trisha is a responsible adult who can make her own adult decisions, and Gabbie can just stay out of it. Because it's not about her making this rumor. It's about her making this rumor and then not just spreading it amongst her circles, but amongst hundreds and thousands of people who had no business being in the middle of Trisha Paytas and whatever she wants to do with another consenting adult. 0 out of 10. The audacity. And now we go on to the shadow ban conspiracy. Now, I've mentioned it briefly, but Gabbie sings, and it's not bad, but it's not really my kind of music. Gabbie doesn't work with subtlety a lot, so her music is a lot more linear and simple, which is fine and easy listening for whatever reason, but mostly it appeals to younger audiences. That's not a dig. Younger audiences like simple things that lack subtlety and substance, and Gabbie is chock full of that, and it leaks into her music. But her main audience has grown past it. But she threw a fit because of it, and now I'm pretty small, like under 1,000 subs. Please subscribe. Please, I'm so close. But anyway, she received 10,000 views on her music video when it first came out, and then she was convinced it was because she was being shadow banned on YouTube. Now, in case you're wondering what that is, shadow banning is a process that allows a company or platform to basically shun you from new audience members. They push you off the general public's pages so they won't find it organically. So instead of raking in new viewers and fans, your content gets ignored. Now, there are a couple of legitimate reasons why this would happen. If you don't have favorable content that makes the platform look good, then you could be shadow banned. Or if you have violent or aggressive content as well, that can force you off the top of the list. But mostly this happens to more raw content on YouTube, like Crypt TV, a horror channel that I'm sure is good, but I cannot watch because I am scared to. But just because they're shadow banned doesn't mean that it's bad or not popular. Unlike Gabbie Hanna, who is both. She keeps saying that she has proof, but nobody has seen any of it, and if you look up Gabbie Hanna, she still pops up. So yeah, not really shadow banned. 3 out of 10, not really a conspiracy. The next controversy I'm going to cover has to do with Jessie Smiles and her history with Predator. So I will be timestamping this. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, I will cut it out for you. You can skip to the next topic. I will mark it down. It will even be highlighted in the clips down below. With that being said, let's get started. Jessie was once a roommate of Gabbie's, and she had more of a personal account of Gabbie. In 2013, Jessie's ex decided to take advantage of her while she was recovering from a concussion, and that's not alleged. It's a signed confession. There's a recorded phone call where he admits to it, and it's petty YouTube stuff. She was attacked while vulnerable by her ex-boyfriend, and it was probably horrible and traumatic. What Jessie does to reclaim herself and her life after that assault is up to her, and it's none of our personal business. I think the worst thing that somebody can do after something like that is take the side of the criminal. And that's exactly what Gabbie did. At a party, later on it was changed to a FaceTime call, Gabbie admitted to answering and hearing out the person who assaulted her friend at the time. It made Jessie uncomfortable and angry. Understandably, there's a whole phone call about it, and I will link it down below. But Jessie wanted to hear Gabbie out, which she didn't have to, but she did, as a courtesy to Gabbie, and Gabbie told her that she heard this man out in full, saying she was waiting for him to lie so she could call him out. Jessie brought up a good point of why didn't you just hang up if it was a FaceTime call, but I guess that's over Gabbie's pay grade. 0 out of 10, Jessie, I wish nothing but the best for you, and I hope you can heal from this. The next controversy, a little more lighthearted. Alex James talks about how Gabbie has lied about him. That's relatively small, but there are some accusations that he's the reason she's in LA. But Gabbie couldn't help but tell the world he's a really bad person. Yikes. 2 out of 10. Betrayed a friend. Now let's talk about the book. Everybody loves the book controversy, so let's get into it. Gabbie Hanna wrote a book called Doggolescence. It's a terrible title, and I'm no poet, but a woman named Rachel Oates received it, and she was very fair in her critique. This is something that people have to keep in mind. Rachel Oates does a couple of things on her channel, and she describes her channel as book reviews, science, skepticism, commentary, and dog. All good things. But the main ones we're going to focus on are the first and last. Rachel received Adolescence, a bad poetry book by Gabbie, and it blew up. Good for Rachel, I guess. It was funny with some analytics mixed in, a 2-part review of the ups and downs, and I was never going to read it, and I did not care about it at all, but it was a good video. Gabbie, seeing an opportunity to get more publicity for her second book, decided to pester one of Rachel Oates' mutual friends and get her book reviewed, or her second book reviewed, this time by Rachel again. She had a weird expectation that the review would be favorable since she got the book for free, I guess, but that's not really how it went down. The book sold for $13, and that's not even a good deal if you ask me. But if you wanted to compromise somebody, $13 would not be the price. This made Gabbie angry when the book review didn't come out as favorable, and it sparked a whole new kind of retaliation from Rachel, who decided to make a parody book of adultolescence called Doggolescence, which is an incredibly cute book about, or from the perspective of, her dog named Kyra. Kyra is a puppy, and I've seen a couple videos of her, and I do love her. She's adorable. Again, Rachel's book will be labeled down below as well. There's a link to it. Again, it's called Doggolescence, and most of the proceeds go to charity. But Gabbie's book controversy, I'm gonna have to rate it a good old 3 out of 10. In your own words, you get what you pay for. Up next, a user called Oscar Wilde likes a tweet, and Gabbie goes for the throat. Oscar Wilde is a musician on YouTube. He liked a tweet that called Gabbie Hanna washed up, basically, and it blew up. Oscar Wilde was accused by Gabbie and even confronted on Twitter in the DMs, but Oscar wouldn't back down. It came to a head when Gabbie made a video of the situation, calling him a liar, performance activist, and gaslighter. Just for saying sorry that your feelings were hurt. I didn't understand the full context, and I didn't understand that you felt so strongly about this. But of course, that wasn't good enough for Gabbie. She wanted a full video apology with fanfare, crying, and at least one golden swan. Man, that's the bare minimum you can do for finding something on the internet and liking it. I am joking about the swan and the crying, but she did want some sort of public apology. Oscar Wilde did end up submitting to Gabbie and did coming out with some sort of public official statement with her in a car for some reason. But 2 out of 10, Gabbie. This was terrible. After that little kerfuffle, Gabbie threatens ex-patrons of hers with a lawsuit. And I'm gonna say it. What the hell? Why would you do that? She threatened to sue the parents of some of these people as well because some of them were minors, and I guess she wanted to sue them for slander, but that could not be further from the truth. She's manipulative and terrible. Also, shouldn't they be suing her? Because your patron doesn't sound like it's anything to behold, Gabbie. Like, what do you really get from it? Sneak peeks of the new hot take? 1 out of 10. I'm running out of energy. Lastly, and the most prevalent, Escape the Night. For those who don't know, Escape the Night was a YouTube Red murder mystery series, and it was said to be good, but I don't really have an opinion on it because I didn't watch. I don't have YouTube Red. But what have I seen though? It was high production quality, and the crew, actors, and staff all seemed to agree on a couple things. The producers were very accommodating and helpful, people were generally cared for on set, and that Gabbie Hanna was a nightmare. Multiple crew members will attest to this too. They didn't like her in season 2, but since the show was good, they invited her back for season 4, when she started off by not showing up to 2 of 3 fittings, and then complained that she couldn't fit it into her schedule. And then they said, okay, we'll fit it into your schedule. And then somebody in their studio went over, and she just bailed on them entirely. She showed no respect to the staff, and then complained when she couldn't fit into the dress that she hadn't shown up for the fitting for. Then she didn't fill out her medical form for her food requirements or any allergies that she had until the first day of filming, and then complained that there was nothing for her to eat or drink there, causing a scene, enough for one of the producers to go out, pick up food from Whole Foods, and then she didn't even eat it. Then she claimed she had a cheap metal allergy, which said caused her to break out, but the necklace she was wearing was sterling silver, and even then, she still caused a scene, even when people told her that she didn't have to wear it. She could have just forgone it entirely. Of course, after that, she makes a YouTube video explaining that this isn't her fault, she was dealing with a lot, the reason she got killed off was because some people were jealous and they betrayed her, and it was all that. It was garbage. Gabbie Hanna is garbage, and she should know better. 2 out of 10! You're an adult! And you know what, Gabbie? I'm gonna grade you 36 points out of 130. Because even though these things are atrocious, the real issue I have with you is the fact that I've wasted an entire week on this issue and I keep on getting appalled by your actions. You're a bad person, and you should learn from your mistakes. From the 13 controversies I've covered, you should learn from those and become a better person. Don't just write a book called, like, I'm so sad and here's some poetry that I've stolen. Just learn from your mistakes and become a better person. And don't blame everything on your ADHD. And with that, I think I've wasted enough time on this. I'm ready to put this topic down. Again, I'm Glargity, and it's been wonderful to have all of you back again. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the video, and put a comment down below if you would like to hear more from me, and don't forget to leave a suggestion.